Hello students and welcome back. Today I am going to discuss about the groundwater. Before going into detail, let's know the various terminologies which are related to the groundwater. So first of all, groundwater means is water which present beneath earth's surface in soil pore spaces and fractures and voids of rock formations, that is porous strata. Porosity is percentage of open void spaces in the form of cavities or fractures in subsurface material, that is rock. Then permeability is the another characteristic features which is the measure of ease with which a fluid, that is water, can flow through the earth's material. Then aquifer is the porous unit of layer of rock that is able to store or hold water and transmit enough at economic value. Then aquitard is a rock material that is low in porosity or permeability, not allowing significant flow of water. Aquiclude is a unit of rock or layer of rock which is impermeable to fluids. It acts as a barrier to fluid that is incapable of transmitting water. Then another rock body, that is aqueous, is a unit of rock which is neither porous nor permeable, that is can't store as well as flow the water. And spring is the opening near the surface of the earth where water flows out without pumping. Generally it is a natural discharge point. It may cause by hydrostatic pressure or the intersection of the piezometric surface with the ground surface, and it is also referred as the artesian system. And piezometric surface is the surface that defines level to which water is pushed or rise up by the confined pressure below. It is also termed as the potentiometric surface. So let's see the vertical distribution, or even this is called as the vertical zones of the groundwater. So the groundwater, the water which is present below the surface in the form of aquifers, that is in the pore spaces of the rock as well as the soil. So vertically it is distributed into various zones. Main zones are zone of saturation and zone of aeration. The uppermost zone or layer is called as the zone of aeration, which includes soil water zone, vadose zone and capillary zone. Generally we can see at the top of this sketch, that is surface, which is the recharge area, below which there is a soil water zone, that is water infiltrates through the pore spaces which are present in the soil and it moves downwards. Then it enters to the vadose zone, that is again the portion which is having number of pore spaces partially filled with the water and partially filled with the air, and this may be clay lenses or any other kind of soil. Below that there is a capillary zone. Many times it is called as the intermittent zone, and it is in between the zone of aeration and zone of saturation, but it is considered as a part of the zone of aeration. And below that exactly there is a water table which separates the zone of saturation and zone of aeration. That water table which is the uppermost surface of the water level in the aquifer, and below that there is a zone of saturation, that is a rock formation which is full of water. All the pores and spaces or open fractures joints are filled with the groundwater and it is saturated, and hence it is called as the zone of saturation. And that groundwater which is present in that saturated zone is called as the phreatic water. whereas the water which is present in the zone of aeration is called as the Wadus water. So this is the this is the vertical distribution of the groundwater, or even it is also termed as the zones of groundwater. Then whatever I told, that is vertical distribution of the groundwater, again it is given here. So let's move. That is aquifer. Aquifer is the strata of the rock which is saturated with the water, that is all the pores and spaces are filled with the groundwater. And there are different types of the aquifers, that is first one is the unconfined aquifer, then confined aquifer, and third one many times it is not considered as the third type, because this perched aquifer is present in the unconfined aquifer at a shallow depth, which is in hanging position. So unconfined aquifer, an aquifer that is close to the ground surface with continuous layers of materials of high intrinsic permeability, recharge from downward seepage through the unsaturated zone or lateral groundwater flow, or upward seepage from the underlying strata. This unconfined aquifer is at a shallow depth and it is near to the surface and it is under the atmospheric pressure. Then confined aquifer, that is an aquifer that are overlain with the confining layer, and recharge occurs in recharge area where the aquifer crops out, or by slow downward leakage through a leaky confining layer. So simply that confined aquifer is the rock strata which is having number of pores and spaces and are filled with the water, saturated with the water, and such layers are confined by both sides, that is upper and lower side, confined by the impervious layers we can observe in the sketch. Okay, so this is the confined layer, and again this is the another confined layer which is below that particular layer, and portion is the this portion is of the confined aquifer, that is layer which is bounded by the two impervious strata. And then this may be the unconfined aquifer, this may be the unconfined aquifer. Only at lower side there is a confining layer, that is impermeable strata, and uppermost portion there is no confined layer, and that atmospheric pressure acts through the pores and spaces, that is from Wadus zone. Then we can see here that dotted line which is called as the piezometric surface, and the wells which are taken into the confined aquifer are called as the artesian wells, and many times we can observe that there are flowing wells, and that wells are definitely in the confined aquifer, and as well as they intersect to the surface below the piezometric surface, and naturally without pumping there is a flow of water. So confined aquifer is of more significant, that is more important. Then another one is the perched aquifer, as I told earlier, that is occurs when an unconfined water zone sits on the top of a clay lens and separated from the main aquifer below. And these perched aquifers are the small water bodies, or we can say that small rock portions which are full of the water, and these are in hanging position, and their location is in the unconfined aquifer, and these are of not so significant. Then we can see in this figure, this is the saturation zone, then zone of aeration, and this uppermost portion is the recharge area. Then let's discuss about the hydrologic cycle. Before that, let's see occurrence of the water, that is 97%. All water on the earth is in ocean. 2% of water is earth's water in the form of ice caps or glaciers, and 0.6% of earth's water is groundwater. So this is the in general water cycle, that water which is stored in the ocean or seas or other water bodies, first of all, due to the heat from the sun, it gets evaporated, then condensation takes place, and again that water is reached to the surface by the precipitation. And some of that precipitated water, that precipitation may be in the form of ice or in the form of rainfall. Okay, then this water gets recharged, infiltrates into the earth. Okay, and some of water again it is stored in the ocean or seas or other water bodies like dams or ponds or lakes, etc., etc. Then some of the water is get infiltrate into the soil, and that water is stored again in the uh, subsurface water bodies, that is aquifers. And some of the water is taken by the plants, and through the plants leaves, by the evapotranspiration, that water again reached into the atmosphere, and again condensation takes place. So in this way there is cyclic movement of water takes place. These are the figures which well explains the different types of the aquifers as discussed earlier. Then cone of depression. In this figure we can observe that there is a well which is taken or which is drilled. There is the another well, but there is a variation in the depth. The deep well, if taken and if it that water is pumped out, then see the effect in the next figure how it affects on the aquifer. There is a formation of the cone as well as the depression due to the pumping out of the water, and this is effect of the pumping out of the water, and this is called as the cone of depression, that is cone shaped depression which is formed due to the pumping out of the water. So this is all about the groundwater. We will meet in the next lecture with another topic. Thank you very much.